Hey guys, it's Ebony back with another episode of RnB Vibes. And listen, we just had a good laugh about this because the first time I met this beautiful, as you can see, beautiful queen. Okay, I called her. I went up to you and I said, "Hey, you're Nakessa. That's a Nakessa at first. Nakessa first, and you said no, it's Nakessa. But the way you said it was so kind." And it was during the kickback. She, of course, performed at the kickback. So here I am about to meet her because she's performing at my event, and I don't even know how to say her freaking name. You are so sweet. Thank you for not cursing me out. You could have.
Like I have been at every point. There was a point where I just didn't correct people. Mm-hmm. I got to a point where I was correcting people all the time, and then I was like, I'm just not gonna correct y'all no more. But then you can't do that because people need to know how to pronounce it. So I'm just like, oh no, you just say it this way. This is it.
Do you have a mantra you tell them to get them to understand, like, this is how you say it?
Actually, I did at one point. I was like, it's Nakessa, which I guess me being country, sometimes the N sounds like an M. Mm-hmm. And so people are like, yeah, Nakessa. No. With an N.
With the N, right.
An N. And the Kessa is like Tessa, but with the K.
Oh.
And that's what it is.
I like that. Kessa, like a Tesla. So I love that. That's cute. See, because my name Ebony, everybody messes it up. So my little thing, and no disrespect to anybody named Ebony, okay? No disrespect at all. Hear that first. So what I say is, it's like Ebony, but more expensive. Because it sounds like a little more fancy.
So you got a little French, little French accent in there, a little seasoning.
So it's like, I just, with a little accent mark, it just makes it like, oh, so that's why there's a little extra $1,000 on there. That's why.
Because it's more expensive.
It's more expensive. So like you, okay, you're more expensive.
It's more expensive.
Ever since I met you, though, you have been such the word vibe. You really have been. You really are. You're in your neo soul era. That is who you are. Yeah. What got you into neo soul?
So, growing up, it was either gospel or nothing. And then my mother, she kind of discovered Erykah Badu and Jill Scott and Lauryn Hill, and she was like, "Okay, well this all right for y'all to listen to. Sounds of Blackness. Okay, y'all can listen to that. That's all right. That's all right. So it's Jesus or this. These are your two options. The rest of that.
Like, how about look? No. Jesus. Okay, praise Lord.
Or this. Like, she listened to a lot of Kim, and then she got into Maxwell, but I was just like, did you actually listen to these Maxwell lyrics or no?
No, she just
I didn't say nothing. I was like,
let it go.
We going straight back to Strictly Jesus if I mention anything. But
man.
I grew up listening to these types of artists. So that's really what's giving me the love of neo soul music. Just it was either Jesus or neo soul.
But it's interesting because some people they'll get these two different options like you do, like you did, and instead of rebel and go a whole different direction, because you could have came out as a country artist, you could have came out as a hip hop queen, who knows, but you decided to still stay within the category that you were familiar with. What really resonated you outside of the fact these were the options? Of course, you grew up.
Yeah.
What said to you, this is my home?
I think it's the energy of neo soul music because it felt like home. It just feels like home. You think about like sitting on the porch in the summertime, families cooking out and grilling out or whatever. It's just easy. It's really it's a connection between people, where I feel as like R&B, a lot of times, don't get me wrong, I love me some R&B.
Amen.
Love all, but a lot of the time it's over sexualized, and it's not about the genuine connection between us as sisters, as opposed to what we gonna get into type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it neo soul to me gives a vibe of connection and family, which I feel like is really important for all of us to have, whether we blood or not.
This is true. So you see a difference between the R&B and the neo soul. Some people put them all together and say it's the same sound, but I also kind of think about that because I'm like, I don't know. I can't put Erykah Badu in this lane and then also throw in, I don't know, Kiki White or whatever else. I gotta have. There is a separation, And for me growing up, I really connected with neo soul the first time. That was my first experience with neo soul. Like I had gospel and all that, but it was neo soul that said, "This is my heart."
Mm-hmm.
And growing up listening to sounds like Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Angie Stone, rest in peace, you know, that really grounded me in my heart. And then R&B, it was another type of vibe. That was another experience. That was definitely something that was another era. Yeah. But and now as an adult, you know, I blend them all together and I'm learning more about my sound. And it's like, okay, there is a connection, there is separation, and then there's also a way you can blend it to where it's beautiful. Yeah. So tell me about your artistry now. Tell me how you decided to say, all right, I know my sound. Now I want to bring my sound out to the world. Now I want to actually be on the stage and with a mic in hand.
Well, like I've always had music. Music has always been the thing that's never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
It's always there, like the sun in the day and the moon in the night. Like it's always there. It's always been there as a comfort to me, as a friend, as a guide, as all of the things. When I was lost, music was there to find me. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, I can't be the only one that feels like this.
Yeah.
But also, if God gave me the gift of singing, because a lot of people have to go and they have to learn how to do certain things to get started. I didn't have to do that, which was amazing because my mom, she would sit in my doorway. I wouldn't notice that she was there at first. Yeah. But she would sit in my doorway when I was a little girl because I had terrible stage fright. Couldn't sing in front of anybody.
Really?
Could not sing in front of anybody to save my life. As soon as I noticed somebody, I'd shut up. And I just... But my mom, she was sitting in the doorway like, yeah, I see what you got going on.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. So she would start sneaking me on church programs. Oh. Like she'd be like, yeah, you know, I'm going to see your grandmama's Women's Day program. Do you want to go? I'm a kid. Of course I want to go. I want to be in the house. I want to go where you going. So I would get there, and then they called me up for an A&B selection. I'm looking around. Like, I'm not even supposed to be here. What?
What you mean? I gotta be on stage.
What you mean?
Right.
But it just never went away. The want to share my talent and to just sing.
Yeah.
And so I got older, and I was all like, well, I can't be selling out arenas and stuff if I'm scared to sing in front of people.
Yeah, that's true.
So I can't even remember what my first show was that I did here. It was something real tiny. I think over at SAE probably, singing my own original music. And I wasn't getting the response that I wanted. I was just like, how could y'all not? This is fire right here. Right. But I was terrified. And that translates to the audience. They always pick up on that. So I'm like, okay, I really have to work on my whole everything, the essence that I bring on stage, the presence that I bring on stage, so that y'all can actually hear what I'm saying or hear what I'm singing, as opposed to looking at me like, why she up there shaking in her boots? Like, I can't focus on the song because she looks
scared as hell.
She looked like we holding her a gunpoint.
That gunpoint, Jesus. I'm dead. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, stage presence is so important, and I think a lot of artists forget about that aspect.
Yeah,
they're like, I can sing, I can rap, I can do all that, but you also have to have some type of stage presence because that also gets people in. Yeah. And if you're going to sing to me, it's like if you're singing to me about love. And like, how about heartbreak? You know, you're singing to me about how a particular situation in your life went down and you felt sad, you was going through it, but you ain't got no tears, but you ain't got no emotion.
Yeah.
But you don't have anything that's connecting yourself to your sound. So you want me to connect to you for your sound for you? Like, how does that work? So stage presence, it matters.
Yeah, it really does. And I learned the hard way. But luckily I wasn't a person that gives up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, y'all don't like me. No, you got to be brutally honest with yourself. Like, girl, come on.
Right.
Come on.
So was there anything that you did to I guess help you outside of the moment of being on stage and finally putting yourself out there? Was there something else that you did?
Well, I've always been a person that sang all the time.
Yeah.
So first I had to break the bad habit of shutting down when people entered the room, because that was I would still do it at a point. And then I made the choice to share my music online, which I did terrible at being consistent with it. That's a whole nother animal. But just the initial like, because as an artist, when you create something and you decide to share it with the world, that's your baby. And you know, especially in this day and age, people always gonna have something to say. And you don't want nobody to talk about your kids.
Listen,
you be ready to fight behind your
Amen.
kids.
My child is beautiful. My child's not ugly. Every child is beautiful. Sometimes your kid is ugly. Go ahead. Sometimes some kids are ugly.
The genes.
It just ain't gening right. Sometimes
they
you think
came to their full potential yet.
And that's okay. It will eventually get there. But anyway, back to the song.
But that's the thing. Like, your art is like, it's like your baby, and you be ready to fight behind your baby. Yeah. And the biggest way of relinquishing the fear of being seen is to be seen. I'll never forget, somebody said to me, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to be seen even if nobody sees." And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to be seen even if nobody sees." And what that means is putting yourself out there and putting your art out there, regardless as to whether anybody sees it or not. If it has 0 views, that just means that nobody see it, and that's fine. You did what you were supposed to do by putting yourself out there, by breaking open your shell and saying, I'm just going to set this here, and if you walk by and you like it, you walk by and you like it. If you walk by and admire it, you admire it. If not, I did my part. And so that's what I had to do. I had to do my part. I had to break open and say, okay, if this is where I want to be, and this is, being an artist requires you to be seen. It requires you to be within the eye, within people's judgment zones. Yeah. But that ain't got nothing to do with you. You just do your part and just set it down and walk away. That's all you got to do.
That's such a good, I guess, concept to have, even, well, really at the beginning, and carry it through as you are going down your journey of being an artist, because eventually that 0 view becomes 500, becomes 10,000, becomes 1 million. Yeah. And once you start getting into the numbers, even if 1, then you got, as you said, the judgmental eye view that comes on you. And now you're like, worrying about the comment section. You need to not worry about that part, but about your part. Your part is just creating the craft, doing what you've done, posting it, period, done, and walk away. Yeah. But so many people, you know, they get into that judgment zone, and then they start to either change who they are, change their craft, or get defeated and not do anything at all. Yeah.
And you shouldn't, because at the end of the day, God made you specifically the way that he wanted you to be made. And it's crazy. A lot of people forget, you know, if you read the Bible or don't read the Bible or anything, if we are all created in the divine image of God, how is it that we are all created in the same image of the same thing, and yet we're all so different? Because we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be. Right? So I'm not about to change who I am, because you got that's a you problem.
That's a you problem. Yes.
If you have an issue with that, you need to take that up with God. God made me like this. God created me in this image. And the best thing that I can do to honor him is to be myself.
I want to throw something at her, but I can't. I think last time I tried to throw something at somebody was Roz Malone, and I tried to now keep objects away from me, but I can't hit you, but that was such a good word. Just know that was good. That's how you know it was good. When someone wants to throw something at you,
I already know.
That was good.
I know. Side note, I've been hit with a lot of things in my I've been hit with a lot of things in my day, okay? Somebody threw a diaper at me when I was on stage. And this was before I understood.
That's a moment.
Before I understood church culture, because the church I went to, my family's church, we were very like, sit quiet, yes, pastor, all right, type thing. Yeah. And so when I started singing, I was entering these different areas of these different denominations and the ways that they do stuff. So we were having rehearsal at my cousin's church. And I was up there, and he was like, okay, now sing the part. Yeah. So I sang the part. The lady was just finished changing her granddaughter's diaper. And all I see is this diaper goes me in the shoulder. And they were like, no, it's fine. That's good.
That's good. That's good.
Like,
listen, if somebody wants, and if anybody ever hears anything, if somebody wants to throw something at you, And they're smiling. Wait a minute. And they're smiling. That's a good thing. That is church culture. We are trying to tell you, you did that. You hit that. And you hit that with that word right there.
Not even smiling. Sometimes you get one of these.
That means that's that face where it's like, But you hitting gems. You hit it though. You did. But so tell me, okay, so you have such a very forward way of thinking. Affirmations on point. You know what you are, what you want to do, who you are. How do you stay uplifted, especially in this industry?
In this industry, staying uplifted for me is not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
But also getting bullied a lot when you're growing up, it makes your skin tough. So you don't really care.
Who's bullying you?
You know, you get the burnt black biscuit, skillet, midnight comments, all of that, right? It was always.
I had to leave for a second. Jesus. What?
It was always that.
Black burnt biscuit.
It was kids will say anything.
At this point, go right now and whoop your child. I don't know. Wake them up and just start whooping them. I don't care what they did. Anyway. Just remember this part of this interview and just get up and go whoop your kid. Because that's a sin of a shame.
That's
crazy.
It's crazy.
I've never heard of that before in my life. Black burnt biscuit.
It was always things. There were people, they were always picking with me about one thing or the other. Why you talk like that? Why you so smart? Like when I was a child, I spoke very, very properly. I enunciated all of my words and everything. It wasn't until I got older I started to kind of add in a little slang, get the real country in there. But like that was the thing. Why you talk like that? Why you look like that? This, that, and the other. And this was back in the day before being black was cool, before being dark skin was cool. Are you from Africa? Like, just, the whole things. And it's just like, y'all just want something to be mean about.
That's it.
But the great thing is that I had great parents that were attentive and paid attention to me. And I realized that I was lucky in that way because a lot of people did not have that. So the foundation was laid very strong for me at an early age. That's a them problem, not a you problem. My daddy used to say that to me all the time. He said, that ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah, but when you're a kid and you hear it, you kind of think, whatever. But I guess at some point it resonates to you.
It did.
Yeah.
It did because I didn't care when people would say, don't nobody want to see you singing in a head wrap. That's not sexy. It sounds like it's not sexy to you. Yeah. That got nothing to do with me. I got the head wrap on. Like,
amen.
What?
Amen. Yes.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. And I realized that a lot of the times people are trying to change you because they are either intimidated by the light that you emit or they are too afraid to be honest with themselves and say, I need to fix XYZ about me.
Yes.
And so that once you get to that point and you realize that the way that people respond to you and interact with you has nothing to do with you at all and everything to do with what they're going through on the inside, you move a lot different.
And that is so true. People have their own self-notions, self-things that they're dealing with, right? And they can't fix, they can't figure out. And then they see you. Here you are, confident as you are, beautiful as you're being, and you want me to be comfortable with the fact that you're feeling good and I'm not? How dare you? I'm going to put you down to feel as much as I feel. I want you to be just as black burnt biscuits. I'm going to save that for the rest of my damn life because that was interesting. I want you to feel this phrase. I want you to feel it just as bad as I do. So I'm going to put you down. I'm going to talk about your singing. I'm going to talk about your nose, your face, your skin, every single thing, just because it makes me feel good. And that's sad. People have to be like that.
It is. And what they don't realize is that it works either way. You know, if I see something about someone that intimidates me, like say I see you at the thing and you work in the room, you doing all the things. I'm like, dang, I wish I could work a room like that. what do? I go up to you, girl, you really working this room, honey. Like,
Amen.
I admire you.
Yeah.
I admire that about you.
Yeah.
Giving that energy brings that energy back to me.
Yeah.
Giving out negative energy only brings you back more negative energy, child. What
are we doing?
What are we
just
doing?
sitting in funk. If you like, if you like sitting in a funky, dirty, messy place where you just got flies whopping around you, your left boob is sagging, your right boob is up, and then you got the drawers got all holes in it. If that's how you want to sit, I'm gonna tell you right now, it is not comfortable.
Right.
At some point, you won't get up and take a bath.
Yeah.
You want to rinse off all of that nasty, funky energy and smell and the flies. You don't want that no more. And you have to cleanse yourself.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to just meet someone, connect, learn from them versus hate against them.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a great thing. And I know for me, like, for example, watching you on stage, I was just like in awe, right? Because I'm like, I swear to God, this is the perfect voice, perfect face, perfect everything. Nothing in my soul wants to say, she's prettier than me. She's better than me. None of that, right? And people need to remind themselves. It can't be a competition. It can't be a comparison. It has to be that's her. That's her gift. That's her talent. And man, I love watching her do it.
Yeah.
As women, we have to remind ourselves of that. As people, we should remind ourselves of that. And I'm so happy that you have that early. You have that now. Because, girl, when they start coming and pushing some more on you, they're going to try.
Yeah.
And they're going to try. And if somebody tells you, I'm still stuck on this Blackburn biscuit, tell me, because I'm gonna whoop their ass, because that is a problem.
They wouldn't dare say it now.
Girl, I
wouldn't
swear.
dare say it
and
now.
you know what? They can't. Come on, model.
Like,
come on, you.
They wouldn't dare say it now. Child, when I was a kid, though, I'd go back and I look at my pictures as a child, and I'm like, I was so cute.
You was cute.
But the thing is, my teeth, when I would lose them, usually the kids would lose two on top, two on the bottom. I would lose one on the top on this side, one on the bottom on the opposite side.
That's okay.
And then the one on the top would be halfway grown in, and I'd lose another one on the bottom, or I'd lose the other one on the top. Like, so I was snaggletooth for real. But even then, I'm looking and I'm just like, you just the cutest kid. You was just the cutest kid. And you were a strong kid then. You were strong to not fight, because I didn't fight. My brothers, they fought. They fought. They fought their battles with their fists. I didn't fight. I just learned to be witty.
That's
and
good.
I learned to come back. And then when I realized, like, oh, I don't even have to do that. I don't even have to do that, because my mouth was real smart. It was real bad. It got real bad. But in school, it's got to be like that, because kids will say anything. They will say anything.
Yeah,
so I realized that I didn't have to do that anymore. I could just be kind, and I could just be me. And that made people even more upset. And that made me happy.
Yeah.
That me just being kind to you gets under your skin. What kind of life do you live? What kind of life do you live that people being nice to you is a problem? Everything a problem? I can understand people being mean to you being a problem. Okay, but people being nice to you is a problem?
That's an issue for some.
Why you say good morning?
Well, damn. Because the morning's good.
Good morning's good. You woke up, didn't you? Be it on the right or the wrong side of the bed.
You woke up. Your feet touched the ground. Some people just laid out and it's cold right now. It just is what it is. But, it's funny because, you're not like that. You've decided to not turn hate and whatever else, mess or whatever. You didn't turn that into your own self. You didn't, because some people that were bullied become the bully.
Yeah.
You didn't want to do that. You were bullied and became an advocate for those that are bullied, Yeah. So tell me about you introducing your beauty, finding your beauty, because now, you're a whole model. You're a model. Y'all, if you've never, go to this girl's pictures. She's just, and I'm like, okay, I've got to, and I'm going to steal your ice cream.
Do it.
That one, I'm going to steal
Do
it. Because that was beautiful.
I had seen somebody else do something similar. Okay. I think we can recreate it.
Yeah. I'm going to steal it, and I would definitely say that you gave it to me.
Do so.
So tell me why modeling, where it led you into that path too?
I wanted to feel as beautiful as people would tell me that I was. Like the adults, because kids mean. But as the adults, they were always, oh, you such a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Look at this skin. You look just like your mama. You look just like it. And my mom, she wasn't very tall. Like, I'm tall now, but she wasn't very tall. But she had this long flowing hair down her back. It was all natural. It was all hers. And she always had this strength in her stance. Like, it was just this power around her. Didn't matter where she was. Grocery store or whatever, it didn't matter where she was. She stopped the room, and I was like, I want to have that. I hope that trickles down.
Yeah.
I hope it's hereditary because I want to feel as beautiful as the adults have told me that I am, but also I want to be a visual representation for somebody that may look at me and see themselves and be like, well, she could do it. She did it. I can too. That makes me feel better. That makes me feel like it's not going to be like this all the time. That it's not going to be a struggle forever. That I have just as much beauty in me as anybody else.
Yeah.
And that was it. I was just like, oh, okay, well, let's take these pictures then.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Well, is it hard trying to balance the model life and the singing life, or how do you blend them?
Well, I don't really do much outside modeling anymore.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to. The opportunities just have not presented themselves.
Okay.
So it's easy for me because I just get to, I put on what I'm going to put on, and I walk, and I'm a model for the day. The sidewalk is my catwalk, and I'm a model for I'm a model for the day. When I'm on stage, I get to be, you see me come, you see my fit, and then you hear me sing, and it really makes it easy because I just get to wrap them all into one. I just get to roll it all.
Can we just hashtag the sidewalk is my catwalk?
The sidewalk is my catwalk.
That is enough, y'all. If the amount of things I just can throw at her, it's perfect. Okay, so I mean, they see you and they're able to, like, right now they're seeing you and they're like, okay, model, come on face, come on body, give me give. And then they also are able to hear you. And when they hear you, it's such a beautiful, sound that you have. Your music, I mean, the kickback, again, when watching you perform, you do kind of go into another world and you do bring the room. The kickback was at Vibes, a hookah lounge, which is to me, it can be an intimate space. It can go crazy, whatever you want it to be. But it was as if you took us to a lounge, this is a 1996 Common is about to come up and host, and it is going to give you this intimate, this real, this acoustic, this moment. You bring that energy. You do. And then you had a white chocolate with you. Who the heck was that?
Oh, Ryan Koronich. Who
was that man?
People love Ryan, but he's a genuinely good dude. He's just one of the sweetest souls ever.
He seemed nice.
Listen, that boy be playing that guitar with his teeth sometimes.
What?
Nothing that we played called for it, but he be behind the hair.
Yeah. What's going on with this? But he feeling it.
Okay. Do your tricks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Tricks. But I love him. He was one of the first musicians that I connected with when I actually started taking singing and performing seriously out in the city, and we tight like glue. He's just a all around kind.
Well, how has it been in the city, putting yourself out there, and what is the Nashville scene like when it comes to being an independent artist?
Well, I say for me, I had to understand that I'm not the vibe for every space, and I had to be okay with that, because it's Nashville. There's areas. Every area got its thing.
You better. So, the way that you just tap dance on a whole sermon, the way that I felt that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but it's true. Yes. I had to realize I wasn't the vibe for every space.
Yes, and
I think for a lot of us as artists, we get sensitive when we are not welcomed everywhere or when we're not accepted everywhere. But in some cases, you go where you want it. You go where your vibe fits, where you feel like, okay, yeah, we could do this. Like downtown, for those of you who live in the city and been downtown, it's like, okay, if you go down the strip, you gonna hear Mr. Brightside in every single bar.
Yeah, you are.
Probably consecutively as you walking down the street. It's a specific vibe. And I know for me, I'm not one to need to be screaming at a crowd. I'm not one to need to be taking drunk requests. I'm just not. No, I'm just not one to need to do that. So when I was honest with myself, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, I might not fit everywhere, but where I fit, and I've been received with open arms. Like a lot of the times I'll play at the Speakeasy over in the Virgin Hotel at the Lake Great, and I remember the first night I played there, nobody showed up.
Oh, wow.
But 1 year later, we were packed to capacity and it was hot in there. But I was so grateful because I'm just like, to think that people came, the people that did come brought a person, and that person was just like, oh, you really got to see this person. And then they bring to know that my audience is made up of people who were so enamored with me that they tap anybody on the show was like, you need to come with me to see this.
Yeah.
Like that means a lot to me because it's not easy for one to just be out and to put yourself out there, but to know that people actually want to hear you. Don't matter what you're doing, but they actually want to be in the space with you and share space with you. That means the world to me. So I would say that the Nashville scene for me has been exactly what it was supposed to be. It's been exactly what it's supposed to be.
That's perfect. I tell people all the time that, as you are an artist, regardless of the scene, Nashville, worldwide, whatever, we get in this mindset. I just had a conversation with somebody about this just now, where they're like, well, everybody's doing it. Well, everybody's a singer. Where everybody has a sound. Yeah, but nobody has your sound, your perspective. And the fact that someone's coming and gravitating to your perspective, your voice, how you put your flair to a sound, to a song, that's rewarding. That's a prize in itself. And you just got to keep going off of that, keep thriving off of that, because you can't make yourself believe that this scene out here is not for me. There's just certain people within that scene that don't understand what I do. And that's fine. But eventually I create another space. Yep. I create my own avenue, my own lane, and I become the scene. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm the one that people should look at. I swear, you're just something fascinating. You really are. You really are. Well, what is the dream for you? What do you want?
My dream has always been to travel the world sharing my voice, because my voice is a part of me. And through music, regardless to what language you speak, regardless of what part of the world you come from, we understand music. Yeah. We understand frequency, we understand vibration, we understand sound. And to be able to connect with all of the other divine incarnations of God with that skill and that talent and that ability that I've been blessed with, that's always been my goal, because it's healing, It is. Creating a community, creating a space, creating a vibe, creating that with which people feel seen amongst the masses, where people feel heard amongst the masses. Yeah. That one person who did not know me made me feel like they did. Yeah. That's always been the dream for me.
Well, tell me, if somebody's listening right now and they just got done whooping their kids and all that, and they're listening to this episode, if they're looking for you on Spotify, what do you want your music to resonate with them? How do you want your music to resonate with the listener?
I would want my music to resonate with listeners in the way that it comes from a person just like them, with experiences just like them, that has gone through all of the basic things that we as humans go through: heartbreak, love, joy, pain, the infinite balance of things we consider to be good and things we consider to be bad. It's all just our learning experience, and that's what life is our learning experience.
I see that because I'm trying to, I threw my journal over here, so I couldn't really, grab it. That was, she made me throw it, y'all. I had to throw something at some point. It was something that you wrote. It was, "Be Still." I think it's what it was. "Be Still," that song, and it says something about "Be the river than the stone." Is that right?
Yeah, be the river and not the stone.
Okay, so just to give you more understanding that her music is a definition of you. It is something that everyone can attach themselves to and see themselves. What does that mean for you? Because I took it probably a different perspective, but I want to see what you were coming with it.
I mean, it means exactly what it says. There are certain things in life that will try to harden you, that will try to make you hateful and mean and cold to the world. But what life is, it is constant change, it is constant movement, it is constant flow. So when you flow with the water, when you flow with the changes of the river eventually wears that rock down. But the river remains.
Yeah.
The river is constant, it's still going, it's still flowing, it's still there. But the rock, solid and unmoving. If you look at river stones, they're smooth and they're round, but at one point they had jagged and rough edges. But it's because over time that water kept running and running and running over it until it smoothed out. The water, the river affected the stone. The stone didn't affect the river. So it's like my daddy used to tell me, you got to be a thermostat and not a thermometer.
That's true.
And I thought the other day, you can't be a thermostat, though, without also having a thermometer. You have to be able to take the temperature in the room to know what to change it to. So it's the thing of understanding that, yes, things will happen. Things will be tough. Things make it difficult.
I'm going to throw something at your ass at some point.
Things make it difficult. But at the end of the day, you have to keep moving and you have to keep going. You can't stop and sit in the pity. You have to keep flowing through.
No, that's good. That's good. And people don't realize that. And you have to be accepting of that change. It's okay. Yeah. Things are going to happen in life, and it's not to hurt you, not to harm you, to grow you. Yes. You have to learn how to change and go with a different way of it. But if you don't understand how the mood is of it all, you're going to check. It's my mom. We're going to go on a long interview because of you. My mom told me, she always tells me, there's not a tone with a text. Not a tone with a text. So I'm like, but Mom, sometimes I feel like it is because I'm going to know how to respond. Because if I look at this text message and to me, I'm thinking you look angry. Yeah. Let me check back with this. Let me check back with myself before I can respond, before I can do anything. Check back with yourself. See, your music does that. That's what your music does. It really gives somebody a thought process that I need to really figure out how this situation it is versus, what is it? Versus react. How do you react? How do you respond? Don't react first. You think first. That's what your music does. Even with ice cream, even with all of them. So so of course people can right now check you out on Spotify. Do you have any new music you're working on right now?
I do have some new music that I'm working on right now. I've just been doing the best that I can to write as much as I possibly can. Yeah. Right now, for the first time in my life, I am a full-time artist. Hey. Usually I've had a 9-to-5. Them people fired me in October and I was like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. And having that faith in God that he will provide for me as he always has is really been testing myself, because I'm just like, I don't know. It might be about time to put in some applications or something. I don't know. But
that's true. It gets like that.
Might be time to put some applications in. But I'm like, I can't just be sitting here. I have to do something. So I am working on new music. I don't have any release dates yet.
That's okay.
I am working on new music, going back and listening to things that I've wrote and recorded. Now that my voice has come such a long way from where it was when I first recorded some of these songs, I'm like, I'm going to redo it. Yeah. Because y'all haven't heard it. But I went back, I was like, what was I doing? What is what is this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I've always been about the lyrics because I started with poetry first.
Yeah.
Like, of course I was singing, but when it came to writing songs, I started in a poetic form first because Aquarius, just in the mind, gotta be different, gotta be metaphorical and all that. So I started with poetry first, and so I've always been about the lyrics. So the lyrics, they stand the test of time, but some of the melodies, I was like, yeah, we'll redo it, and then I might season the streets for y'all with something new sooner than later, hopefully though. But I do my best to write all the time so that I can just machine gun it out when I do have everything ready.
I'm excited because I know like this conversation that y'all just got, it's literally what you're going to hear in her music. It's going to be what you're going to be able to tap into and hopefully stay tapping into it. I mean, this girl is a walking Bible damn near. I mean, I have thrown my phone case at her and I was trying out my credit card. I feel like that's going to throw a slice at some point. but tell me, and you before we go away, I want to make sure I touch on this. You're now a full-fledged artist. Like you're full-time.
Yes.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Some artists would wait until they got all the 10,000, well, over 20 grand or something in their pocket before making such a decision. Yeah. Why now?
Well, honestly, I think that God always puts me in the circumstances. He always positions me and he always pushes me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I got fired from my job. And one of the things was what I thought I was going to get fired for ain't what I got fired for. So I was like, this is stupid.
What you do?
Listen, I was doing my work.
Right.
The best of my ability.
Right.
They were like, it shows you not clocked in. So fix it. What that got to do with me?
Right, just fix it. You just go in the back and you do it.
So when they were just like, oh well, with the previous, do y'all want me to finish the rest of the day or
no? Do you want this work?
Do you want me to finish the rest of the day or not? Like, don't waste my time.
Yeah.
But I was just like, okay, this has to be God, because at the time I was working remotely. I ain't gonna lie, I was in Florida playing a musical gig. I was making money that way too. But I mean, I was getting my work done. But
you're doing two things at the same time.
You know, when so it was just like I took that as God saying to me, I'm going to take you someplace, and where you're going, you can't take that little laptop with you. You can't take that job with you. Because there's plenty of things they could have fired me for. They could have said anything. Yeah. But they chose the stupidest, most minuscule, minute thing. And I was just like, okay, God, this is my sign from you.
Yeah.
And then I was just thinking, I'm like, okay, well, being here, this has proven to me that I can make money with my talent. I'm good enough. So if this is how you want me to make my bread, then this is how I'll make my bread.
Right.
And you've carried me through so much. When I look back and I think about all the things and all the stuff that was happening, never once have I gone without food, without shelter, without anything. So why would right now be any different? And if this is what I want for my life, and I've been begging and asking God, please make a way, he was like, all right, fired. Let go.
Pink slip. I'm crying. I resonate with that so well right now. We'll talk about it after the show, but I resonate with that so well at this very moment. Continue. She said fire.
But that's it. So I'm just like, okay, as scary as it is, as painful as it is, growth is never not going to be painful. Growth is never not going to be scary. But the thing is, you got to do it anyway. You got to do it scared. You got to do it hurt. You got to do it crying if you have to. Amen. Crawl if you can't walk. You if it's what you want, you'll find a way to do it. And understand that God is with you the whole time, even when it don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Even when it doesn't feel like it. Right on time really is right on time. Like, right on time really be right on time. The same way Black people show up late to everything. It's right on time, though.
Time is the point.
It's right on time. So right on time is always right on time. So I know that I felt it then that it was, I needed this push to really push, because as long as I had the security blanket of the job and the money coming in constantly, I would never grind as hard as I needed to, or run as fast as I needed to, or chase the things or grab the opportunities as they came to me, because I'm like, oh, well, I might lose my job. Not cussing on the radio, but that job.
Amen. And you the blankety blank blank. You got
Right.
it. You got it. Well, congratulations on you taking a step out on, not just taking a chance on you, but taking your step out on faith. You know, taking a full understanding that God is in control. It's so hard. We all know this story. We all go through this situation where we're like, yeah, God is in control. It's easy to say. It's easy to say that God is in control. God's got me. Yeah. God is going to make sure I'm okay. It's easy to say. What's hard to do is have the faith behind it. Because once you have that faith behind it, you're going to go through some moments where the storm is going to start going, the wind is going to hit, the rain is going to pour, and that river is going to sound like a tsunami. It's going to you're going to feel it. But if you can fully understand the faith of God, you are going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I swear, I am going to make sure I get tithes and offering from this conversation, because this was a moment.
Yeah.
God, I love you so much, girl. You don't know what's going on, but we're going to talk about it after the show. But tell them where they can connect with you to get more of you, not just of your music, but of you.
More of me. Facebook, Instagram. I'm bad with the TikTok, y'all.
I respect that. I respect that. I don't get it myself.
I'll do better if that's what it
that's what it takes.
But at Just Nakessa, JUSTNAKESSA. That's because I be acting a fool. Honestly.
That's okay. But we're gonna see you more in Nashville, doing more shows, of course. I know that I'm gonna definitely calling you.
Call me,
girl, because I love your voice. I love your mindset, and I love how someone right now is not just getting a laugh or being able to understand that. Again, go whoop your child, because that was terrible. That what she just said. Run it back, because that was terrible. If you now at this point, run it back, because whoop your kids. But they can get so much from you, the voice, the word, the face, the understanding of God. Y'all follow her, learn her, and respect her hustle, because this queen is out here shining and just using the sidewalk as a catwalk. I'm done with that too. These are TikTok moments, by the way. You gotta get your TikTok together. God, Jesus. All right, guys.
So bad.
We're closing out. I'm probably going to do a part 2 and 3 with her, because I'm having a great time. Stay connected with everything she does. And I thank y'all for listening to RnB Vibes. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.